Hello, YouTube. What's up? Second Wake, episode 28. Last time we played card games. This time we might still do that. I don't know. Tune in, find out. That's it. All right, cool. So I'm gonna keep it simple, short, easy, delightful, delectable. Here we go. Last time on Second Wake, episode 27, I titled the episode Collected Conquest because it pretty much was an episode about this horrible idea I had to introduce a collectible card game into a Dungeons and Dragons campaign. So the group, having completed a long rest, having eaten some breakfast, having head out into the city, or rather the hamlet of Wren's Fork. I always want to say it's a city, but it's so small. It's a terrible little place. They went out, met with people who could provide insulation and horse armor to their group if they so chose to actually go into the steam fields and investigate. They came across a number of individuals who were also offering transportation up the northern river to Lake Juniper, towards the small town of Syrinx within the Middle Hearth Mountains, a place that would allow them a crossing through the Middle Hearth Mountains and within spitting distance of Kyne's Plummet. After doing so, they decided, well, we'll put a pin in this. Went shopping for a number of items, one of which should, knock on wood, should help our dear, horribly cursed friend Morgan with her very small problem, her tiny, minuscule, toy-like problem. We can just compartmentalize that as much as possible. But with that, the group then decided as well to seek out a red-skinned tiefling with a strange eye and missing horns. And rather, they were great big horns until, he was strapped for cash. And then what are you going to do? So, having met this individual, spoken at length about a curious card game that is blowing up all over the greater Southwest, known as Collected Conquest, a game of magical and powerful stakes and tribulations involving deities from beyond the stars and other dimension and otherworldly aspects, created by, in part, the Seekers of the Sea Entertainment, one of the now most well-known southwestern game companies and all of the Everwield.
Did you get sued already?
No, I haven't gotten sued yet.
Okay, because they were the Sorcerers of the Sea a week ago.
Oh yeah, Sorcerers of the Sea. Sorry. What did I say? I said Wizards of the Sea. That's terrible. We're not getting sued.
Seekers.
Oh, Seekers of the Sea. No, my brain's just off. Don't mind me. It's Monday. Take a shot. Hold on. There we go. That's water, by the way. Not tequila at all, I swear.
Twitch chat, hydrate.
Redeem all your
YouTube
hydrates.
audience, hydrate as well.
Yeah, YouTube audience, hydrate. So yes, Sorcerers of the Sea. Good Lord. Seekers of the Sea. Where is my brain at? Sorcerers of the Sea, one of the better game companies in all of the Everwield. Effectively signed up 3 members of our group, Colt, JJ, and Orville, with the first steps and beginning starter packs for what they would need to begin and start their journey to be the most powerful deck master in all of the Everwield. A title that comes with a prize. If someone is able to ever do it and defeat the crafters of the cards themselves, these perpetrators and sorcerers, they would be able to ask for any one thing that they most desire, and the company would make sure that there was a fulfillment to that. To be the best, you got to play the best. You got to play the game, and it's time to play the game. Anyway, so that's where we last left off. The group having, half the group, I should say, having gotten their cards over the week. I sent them their deck lists because why are we ever going to half-ass anything and just say, here's the very basic, fundamental, easy dice D20 rules for this game? Why would I ever make it easy on myself as a DM? If you're a DM out there making homebrew content, you know what the hell I'm talking about. You're like, yeah, it just makes you shoot acid arrows. And then you're like, but what if you could bleed and do more and do this and that? And it just gets overcomplicated, and that's how it is. That's how every card game starts, right? Like, back in the day, you played in another game that I'm not ripping off. You maybe played one, say, red-colored mountain, and you cast a bolt of lightning, and maybe that did damage, and you maybe played a goblin, and it beat someone to death, and it was very simple. And now you can pod into Tron, into Flame Speaker Mountains, into Eternal Dragon Highlander, into, you know, all this nonsensical bullshit. That's how games are made, right? You start very simple with a very easy premise. And then, you know, back in the day, Mario just jumped, guys. That's all Mario did. He just jumped, collected coins, and beat up turtles. And now he's got a jetpack, and his hat is full of eldritch beings that steal people's brain. It happens, okay? It happens. Game design, this is how it happens. Anyway. All right, so with that, I think that just about wraps up my review. Skip ahead in the video to this point. Hey, guys, review over. Yeah, so here we are, second week, episode 28. Whew. Crushing it. You all find yourselves within the small run tavern within Wren's Fork. You have gained these brand freshly new and minted cards. You have collected your booster packs from the 3 various entities that were offered from your dealer. God, this just sounds more and more like drugs, and I'm very okay with it. And having done so now, you all are...
Always was.
Always was. Always was. You are now free to do with as you please. You still are possessed of a notion, a need, a desire, a quest to fulfill the Herald's journey and what you were actually hired for on this magnificent quest. I'm going to try to move the mic closer to my face so it's less mumbly. But yes, how you do that and what methods you go about to do so are completely up to you, as always. So, Seekers of Galanti, the Weavers chosen as you are. There we go. Look at that. Mic levels are already better. What is it that you would like to do next in your journey? Are you ready to leave Wren's Fork and set forth through the Middle Hearth Mountains? Are you going to seek the marketplace and take up your tiefling leatherworker's offer to create horse armor so you may brave the steam fields? Or are you ready to say, fuck it, quit your day jobs, give up the life of an adventurer, and seek your glory of being professional duelists in Collected Conquest? The choices are yours and yours alone. Some of them come with fabulous prizes. Other ones you get probably punched in the nads by a goblin. Just saying. A lot of nad punching goblins out there. Ain't that right, Orville?
Oh yeah.
So yes.
JJ's is gonna go through her deck. Orville, you got anything good you wanna play a game?
I'm just over here. I'm fascinated by this fella over here. It says his name is Jimmy. He's a neat looking guy.
Holds up a cool card, a tall card. I think I have it. Let me see here. I should have it all in my notes, right? Yeah. You make notes about stuff and things. Did I put it in its own section? I sure did. There it is. Yes. Let me see here. Boop, boop, boom. There you are. Yeah. He holds up a card with the kind of like otherwise making or views of various creatures, one of which is a tall, one-eyed creature with a bright green eyeball, large fangs and claws that seems to be none too friendly, and of course adorned on that card, on that horrible, horrible card, says Jimmy, new Nothic, and it is listed as a rare legendary creature who is a spellcaster. It is a beautiful full art of a what you assume to be a Nothic creature. So if you ever need to identify a Nothic, you have art and imagery of it now.
That one, that seems pretty interesting.
So tell me, JJ, are you able to pronounce the names of whatever's in your deck? Because there were some funky names going on there.
I think for the most part, the weirdest one is Garander, which I think that's what this deck is based off of.
Garanador.
Yeah, Garander, that one. There's something in my head says it correctly.
There you go.
Yeah, there's most of everything is pretty normal. I got a gate. I got an elder oblex. That's pretty cool. And I got some interesting stuff for sure.
All delightful things.
I can assume that Colt looks fairly lost.
Yeah, Colt sits there drooling as Colt does. He looks through his deck. He's like, y'all got cool stuff, I guess. I got a couple great thugs and some squires, some squeers. I think you pronounce it that way. And everything an adventurer needs to win a fight. Some trusty old armor, a good sword. Just the good stuff. And I got this cool short fella. He holds up a card. It's a long bearded black beard dwarf with hair and braids. He says, yeah, he's something called Magnus Forgebrand. I don't know. He's some kind of legendary creature. Yeah, he seems cool, but I don't know. I mean, it seems neat, but I don't really mess with dwarfs. I guess it's fitting. I got friends that are dwarfs or Durgar. That's pretty neat, I guess.
That sounds pretty good there, Colt.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know if I'm gonna play this game a lot, but cool to have the cards, I guess.
We should see if there's a way that someone's got a way to like protect these cards because they seem they're very fancy.
I mean, that one dude, his cards are all tore up. They seem fine.
That's fair.
I think I'm just gonna put them in my pack. They roll around and shuffle a bunch. What are you supposed to do with these rats? Shuffle them?
That's what it looks like.
I mean, they came in a box. I mean, how much more damage could they be? And he'll literally take his deck box and just chuck it in his backpack. After putting away the 3 new cards he got, he'll just shove it in his backpack. There you go. Look at that. Safekeeping. Nothing possibly can happen to him back there.
Certainly, yeah.
Not a chance.
Oh my god.
Somewhere deep in the distance. Yes.
So, y'all, I gotta get this thought out of my head, and you can tell me if this is very wrong or not. What if I could figure out who maybe doesn't have the best decks, and I start wagering souls?
I, for one, am a fan of this idea.
Here's the thing, JJ.
Then I'm also wagering.
And I'm not telling you not to do this. But if you ask them to put that up, sky's the limit on what they ask of you.
That is fair. See, I just had to get it out of my noggin before I did something real stupid.
Yes, you have to be careful. You wouldn't want to send anyone to the Shadow Realm.
I suppose you're right. So what other kinds of decks? So we know that there's a dragon deck. There's
One person.
Yeah.
Had kobolds?
Yeah, it was kobolds and some big dragon. There's some other fella that was playing giants and other big old stinking mountain creatures.
I wonder if there's like because it doesn't seem too confined to maybe horrible creatures. I think my deck's
Oh God.
pretty horrible.
Me. Don't mind me. Please pay no attention to the man behind the screen.
How is
rhythm
so loud for me when I have it at 1%?
It's the top 1%.
It's muted.
It's the top 1%. That's why.
Ridiculous.
That's how it works.
Yes.
But yeah.
The game certainly does look interesting. I think once I have something worth offering, I'll certainly be getting into it as well.
Yeah, for sure. We need to find something for y'all as well.
Yeah. We need to make sure that your deck is the most powerful if we can win souls doing this. I say we mug people and take their stuff.
Colt, you're looking great over there, buddy.
Colt's sitting there drinking an ale. What? Turns around, looks. But you continue to hear Vasler in your ear just going,
Yes. Yeah, we'll beat them up. What if we break their hands? Then they can't draw cards, right? That's how it works.
Yeah, but what if they still pull better? I don't think they're magic decks. They
Oh,
could probably just will
yeah.
it.
They can cheat. We should cheat.
We'll see if we can do that. I
Yeah,
have a feeling that's something.
we're gonna
something
cheat. Yeah, we'll cheat. And all the souls will be ours. Mostly mine, but yours.
Ours. Okay. All right. I see.
Hmm.
All right. Well, that leaves us with figuring out what exactly I guess we're doing, huh? Because we got to decide if we want to go up that river, up north, or if we want to go around the bottom.
That's pretty much the straight and narrow of it, yes.
I'm a fan of going around the bottom, because we said we'd go by the steam fields. So if we actually go by the steam fields, then I feel like we've done everything that was asked of us. I feel like if we go up north through the mountains and around, we haven't really done that.
True. Orville, if we take either path to Syrinx, how long on foot do you think it would be through the mountains and to reach King's Plummet?
you may roll insight or you may roll proficiency with your map maker's tools, Orville.
That is a 14.
14. Depending on the complexity of the path through the mountains, could be inside of a day or two once you're in Syrinx. Wouldn't take what's the meme? Barely a problem. Not even not an inconvenience at all. Hardly a problem. Take it. Super easy. Barely an inconvenience. There we go. Nailed it in 3. But yeah, depending on how the path is through Syrinx, you'd estimate no more than a day or so, maybe 2, to get through the mountains themselves. And then once you're there, the open plains would maybe take you on horseback inside of a day or 2. On foot, maybe 2 to 3 days. Shorter if you guys decided you wanted to sprint the whole way there, but no one ever wants to sprint in the plains. Except the gazelles, I guess.
And we had previously determined that there's no real way to get the horses by boat over to Syrinx, right?
Correct.
I think that was
Well,
the hang up.
We assumed that. We didn't actually talk to anyone.
Also true.
Because it really comes down to if we want to. But if we're. I suggested leaving the horses in Syrinx if we don't want to lose them, because I don't know how safe it would be to take them all the way to Kynes Plummet. Certainly would be the faster option if we're going to head down towards the north of the steam fields and up towards Syrinx. I'm interested in everyone's personal opinion on the whole journey. Do you prefer the road or the river, and to take the horses or to leave the horses from Syrinx?
think Colt had mentioned that he'd like to keep the horses with him, but I think that's just Colt's attachment to his horses.
Well, Colt's passed out after one drink, so we're not going to talk to him anymore.
Camera pans over. Colt is passed out. Someone roofied Colt. We're so sorry.
And then I definitely understand Orville wanting to take the lower road just in case, I don't know, we are asked about what we were originally given. As far as our
He's not even
Strange.
looking at a map. He's got one of those like kids draw the map things from the bar.
It's the placemat with the crayons. It's for kids. It says draw your own beholder. And he's just like, oh, I'm gonna give it so many eyes. I'm gonna give it so many eyes.
I would definitely think that we should probably take the southern road by the steam flats for sure.
Steam fields. So yeah, I mean you can always take the southern road. People have warned you of the dangers, but that is a valid thing.
Is that the road that would melt our horses?
Well, if we didn't go into the actual steam fields and stayed on the northern road, and that's kind of where I want to get insight from someone, and now Bucky's going to say that I want to fuck him again, but would like to talk to the people who work around here and would actually be able to inform us what we would need to travel that path.
Am I wrong?
About which part?
The fucking.
Bucky,
what an odd fixation.
I'm not going to say no, but I'm not going to say yes, because it takes more time to decide such a thing. Seriously, Bucky, get your shit together.
Brought it up.
What did I miss?
Nothing. Well, no, I met a wood elf, and Bucky thinks that means that two elves meet and we have to have sex. I don't know.
It just seemed like there's a little bit of chemistry there.
That's the chemistry. Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could be nice to someone without there being intimate chemistry.
No, it's not how it works, JJ. Not in this
Oh.
group. We don't let that happen. We
Oh,
gave Colt shit. It's my turn now.
Ah, gotcha. But you know what? We should probably talk to your friend. He knows the area. He knows what's going to be
If we're
better
going
for
to
us.
take that South Pass, I think we should talk to the Thial? The Thial. Checks notes.
Yes, the Lyle is the wood elf hunter you met in this very bar, who is missing a portion of his upper ear.
All right. Well, maybe let's go look for your friend Lethiel then. Get some insight. Then we can totally decide what we want to do.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
All right. So are you guys packing up and heading out from the tavern?
Yes.
All right. You clear your tab. If anyone wants to rouse and wake Colt, his bar tab comes to 2 copper pieces. He looks out and goes, I don't remember where my coin purse is. Can someone float me 2 copper? Because the DM can't move 2 copper off my character sheet because he don't want to have to do that. Thanks.
Of course, Colt. I got you, buddy.
Thanks, Orville. One of these days we'll get clam hooch. We'll drink it up, buddy.
I can't wait for that day.
So the group heads out. You all return to the kind of proper area of Wren's Fork itself. At this point, it's a little bit healing into about mid-morning. You spent most of it kind of walking around town, or again, the small area, the village, if you will. You explore the various merchant stalls. You look over, or have already looked over and had your conversations about collected conquest. And now with that, you all set out to look for Lethiel. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Fairly easy to do, not requiring a roll, especially in this group of keen-eyed investigative types and literally Morrigan just existing. So, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and skip ahead to the part where Morgan goes, "What's that over there?" And we'll just Simpsons reference our way, whoop, into the front of a very small and kind of reserved looking building. You look it over, and as Morgan comes to view it, you can see a rather, I guess we'll call him short for this group for certain, individual, a tanned and kind of golden bronzed skin, elven man, missing the upper part of his ear, currently hanging out a number of tenting and camping supplies over heavy wires that exude from the front porch of this small habitat that he lives in, this small home. As you all approach, he turns around. You can hear the crunching of branches, and a kind of a friendly smile greets his face. He goes, "Oh, welcome. Hello again. Pleasure to see all of you again. How is the fork treating you all?"
It's treating us quite well, I think. Several members of our group have already come to find things that they've sought here, so quite well.
Well, that's always good to hear. Have you put any consideration to your travel arrangements or any preference?
Actually, what we wanted to discuss with you, we were considering our options and received some interesting warnings about the steam fields, and we're wondering if we traveled across the northern pass above them to head up towards Syrinx, would we still risk the true dangers of the fields?
You're talking about the southeastern road that runs underneath the Middle Hearth Mountains?
Yes.
It's a remarkable road, to say the least. A bit perilous. For some of you fairer types, it might be a bit uncomfortable. The humidity around there and the heat still exudes off of the steam fields properly. But I have, in my time, successfully guided a number of individuals along that road towards safety. I wouldn't recommend it if you've never traveled it before. The road can get quite lost otherwise. It'd best be to have a guide or a knowledgeable individual to find the path for you.
And how much would it be to hire a guide?
Well, that's going to be fully dependent on the guide. I can only speak for myself, of course, but my rate is 2 gold coins a day, and that includes full tracking services, defense, as well as knowledge and the ability to ask any questions you'd like along the road. You won't find that often from guides here in Wren's Fork. Many want to accomplish their goals and move on. There's no talk or conversation, no, I guess you could call it humanity left in the job.
Would we still need to consider buying the protective leathers for our horses?
Well, if you're bringing your horses, it couldn't hurt to do so, but it is a rather hefty investment to procure such a thing. Personally, I think you'd move a little bit quicker if you were to do so by foot, but I can understand, especially with your group, you all might not want to get your boots wet with the steam and runoff from the steamlands themselves. You could. I don't see, unless you plan on taking a dive deeper into the fields. The road itself, while scalding in some areas, could be easily protected against if you wanted to sacrifice maybe some leathers or tenting to protect your horses and the like. Really, it just comes down to the speed at which you ford that particular area.
I'll look to the group. I think this might be our best option. We could procure a few leathers or sacrifice some of, if anyone has any tenting or equipment, to makeshift some more minor protections. Then we could still bring the horses with us.
I think that could be an option, especially if we can maybe rest up. I think I remember there being a fork kind of that goes between the steam fields or in. If we could stop there and then try and make that pass in a day, maybe, if that's possible, and then get up into that road into Syrinx through the middle. If you think that is possible, Lethal, sir.
Well, with enough gumption and know-how, anything's possible, I assume. Mostly, I think if you're trying to make the Southern Pass your choice instead of just renting a ferry to do so and go up the river's path, you're accepting with it a fair amount of danger and recklessness that could otherwise be avoided if you didn't have business that way. Most people who want to make the Southern Pass are, well, not to speak ill of my past employers, a bit, wily, we'll say, and want to keep to themselves and avoid anything that they might have to review or advise on in Syrinx. Business being their own and confidentiality being what it is.
Yes, it's not very surprising considering some of the stories I've heard. Well, the singular story I've heard of the steam fields. I think this is our best option. You all agree? It allows us to still take account of the steam fields, which is what we need to do, correct?
Yeah, it's essentially what we were asked to do, so we can
Yeah.
gander across the road to the steam fields and then be on up.
That's enough to check my boxes. I'm down. Count me in. Now, when you say we can, you'll tell us about the ongoings of the steam field. And you'll answer questions. You said there's no limit to that.
I mean, yeah, of course, if I'm in your employ, then I would expect to be treated as an employee, and if you have questions of my work or anything in the surrounding area, I might as well be your tour guide now, shouldn't I?
Oh, well, I like this guy.
Very skilled and useful individual to bring along with us. Yes, I think we will be hiring your services. This is the path we wish to follow.
Very good. So I'll be leaving from Wren's Fork here out of the southern gate, head around the Middle Hearth Mountains, take a view and a gander at the steam fields, and then have our destination in Syrinx, right?
That's the plan.
Oh, sounds easy enough to do. We'll call it about a 4 days journey, give or take. We can make it shorter if you are insistent on bringing those horses. But overall, I think a good retainer ought to be about 8 gold pieces. And I'll be ready to leave in the morning. Gives me ample time to prepare for the road ahead.
I will hand him a single platinum.
Takes it and looks it over, goes, all right then, we can leave as soon as you're ready. I'll double time if you need to leave tonight, but...
Just the extra insurances for the difficult road and how things may be.
Well, I do thank you for your generosity, as it is well known within the Easternly people, such as yourself. Certainly, you have my thanks, Miss Velethil.
I think one more day of proper rest would be wise for us. A couple things to handle, and we'll plan to head out first thing in the morning.
First thing in the morning. I'll be waiting for you at the southern gate. Bright and early before sunrise if you want to make it out there. I suggest we leave before anything could be disturbed from these strange, well, audio productions that seem to be made. Find me before morning light at the southern gate, and we'll get everything on the road.
Of course. Thank you, Thathile.
Of course, and thank you for your services, Miss Velithil. With that, he takes his platinum piece, walks away from the group, and you see him immediately begin to kind of start shaking out all of the gear and tools befitting that of a ranger in the area. Heavy bedding, various types of bandages and cloth that would likely be used to stitch and suture wounds in a moment's notice. And he seems more or less already prepared to have these ready for his own needs, but now that he is on retainer, you see him go through and start bringing out older gear. You see heavier set boots with large spikes in the bottoms. He starts kind of polishing and pulling out a number of things he needs to prepare and get ready for the next day. But you all have secured a guide through the southern road past to the steam fields.
Well, do you think we need to re-up on rations, the basic necessities, all that kind of stuff?
I still have several days left personally. But if
Same.
anyone needs anything, we certainly could. We're looking at 3 or 4 days, that should be fine.
I think so too, and maybe Cyrix is a little larger of a establishment. Could find more stuff if needed.
I don't know too much about it. I read a little bit. There's lovely poetry that comes from there.
Mm.
I would assume a lovely place.
Certainly, it's surrounded by mountains. It's seems very interesting. Are we going to bring the horses? That's
We're not bringing the horses, we're selling them.
yep. Okay, we are selling.
But my main intention for keeping them would be the return trip up to Silverhearth.
Mm-hmm.
Should we maybe try and find somewhere we could stable them then?
Well, that was my plan, would be to stable them in Cyrix, although I suppose we could return to Cyrix and then hire a ferry to bring us back to Wren's Fork and take that road back. It takes us a bit out of the way, I suppose, if we headed straight north from King's Plummet, or even just back north from Cyrix. I think we purchase or repurpose some leathers of our own, give our horses some minor protections at least. We just try and take that center road as quick as possible past the steam fields, and we have means if anything goes a bit wrong. It's capability of healing them if they get a bit singed.
Yes.
Hopefully we'll be able to keep them in line if things get a bit out of order. That's a concern. I think our best option is to try and stable them in Cyrix, though.
I agree. Mm-hmm.
Sounds good to me.
Right.
Good.
So, does anyone have any excess cloth or leathers that can be repurposed for the horses, or do we need to go back to Yvette?
I think I have a little bit of cloth left over from when we were up in what's that small village north of Deerwood? Grim Village. I have a little bit of cloth left from that. So we can maybe wrap their feet a little bit, maybe. Add some protection. from the
I
goo.
don't have anything.
I don't have much in that way. I think we should go get something.
Let's go back to Yvette and see what simpler, not 200 gold piece blubber armor that she has.
Certain.
All right. Heading back to the marketplace then?
Yeah.
Okay. You make way across the area. You come back to the kind of very stench-laden, heavy area of the market for Wren's Fork. You continue to hear the shouting and yelling from various barkers, stating that their wares are better than the person next to them selling the exact same thing. You eventually come back and you can smell the tanning oils and various chemicals used to cure leather. And you come into view again of the tannered tiefling herself and her buzzing beetle companion. And you find Yvette once more. I wonder if I can... Let's do this. Let's shrink down and grow it out and slide it over and clip. And clip. We clip the beetle. Can't clip the beetle. Woohoo. We're gonna have to clip the beetle. Sorry, beetle fans. There we go. And we'll flip her. Boop. There we go. So, as you come back into view, she turns and goes, "Oh, hi. Well, there you are. Again. Hi. Can I... you came back for... the the horse armor, right? From earlier?
Yes, but no. We're actually looking for something a bit similar. We're not going to go into the steam fields proper. We're going to skirt along the top of them. So we just like to get some more simple protection, some leather barding to better protect our horses.
Oh, simple, I guess. Really, the more you put on your horses, though, you know, it's just gonna weigh them down, and then it'll cling. It'll burn them quicker than, you know, if you don't have anything on at all. You want something you can take on and off and quickly remove if it's not insulated. Otherwise, you're just going to dehydrate your horses. And, well, I mean, you hear this. Goes, no, yes, of course. Then the horses will die and sink into the steam fields. Yes, that is how it goes. Yes. Sorry, ringing in my ear. I mean, I can sell you leather barding. I don't want to give the illusion that it's going to solve an issue of the steam fields if it's not well made for it, I guess is the right way.
So what would you suggest?
I would suggest our insulated blubbered armor. It is quite nice at 200 gold per suit. It can allow your horses calmly and cleanly pass through the steam fields. No, it's not a hard sell. No, it is. And she moves her beetle away.
So we're not intending to enter the steam fields proper, just travel across the north roads. We want to ensure that any of the excess heat is better protected against.
Well, if that's the case, then you might as well just keep on your horses, and if you have maybe some buckets and some cloth or sponges, just making sure that your horses don't get exhausted from the heat. You know, it tends to take a lot out of people crossing that southern pass. Don't really recommend it all the same, but I mean, you're more than welcome to. Yeah.
Is there anyone here? We had we had ridden with a trader, and it seems that they had maybe some enchanted horseshoes.
Oh.
Do you know of anyone around here, perhaps, that may deal in such a thing?
Enchanted horseshoes, was it?
Indeed.
I mean, your best bet might be the depot, the trade area. They tend to get in a number of strange things, but
I'm not really sure about enchanted horseshoes. That seems like something a bit beyond what someone in Ren's Fork might be able to make for you. Personally speaking, not to say that of course, my crafts aren't just great. I mean, obviously, sir, and she points to Orville. I mean, you're really enjoying those shoes, right? Like you can feel the quality.
These shoes are absolutely fantastic, ma'am. I love them.
Thank you. That's that's great. So yeah, I mean, typically, it doesn't make a lot of sense to sell those kind of things because the path of the river does lead there, so you could just take that instead, and then you wouldn't have to go southward. It'd be a lot safer for everyone. I mean, again, it's your choices. If you really want to do it, I can't really stop you, I guess. But it just doesn't seem like if you're trying to bring animals that you have to rein in through a very dangerous area that might burn or melt their flesh off, maybe it's not worth bringing at that point. Respectfully.
And that's the part that I don't understand. If it's going to burn and melt their flesh off, wouldn't any form of protective leathers suffice, even if not the
But-
insulated ones?
Well, have you ever burned yourself like really badly? Like really,
I will
really
point
bad.
to my everything.
Oh, okay. Well, that's great. So here's the thing. If you get burned and then the air hits it, it cools it and breaks the skin. And that's definitely a burn and it hurts. And I would know a lot about it just because of my heritage makes me a little bit better off against heat than maybe a high elf like yourself. But respectfully, if I might just say, you were to superheat a piece of equipment like this gentleman's armor, and she'll point to Colt, and then they couldn't take it off in time, so then they pretty much just had a burning pan on their chest for as long as that armor existed. The same is true of leather. If it heats up, it'll start burning and melting and adhering to the skin, and then once it starts to boil over to a certain point where skin would normally, of course, melt into nothingness, you would more or less bond with your armor that is now a boiling hot pan until it leaves horrible scars all over your body. And while you might be able to tough it out, I don't have a lot of experience with animals being able to do that. And you hear she goes, okay, well, maybe you could survive it, but really, once it gets that hot, then you can't even fly. So then you're just in a puddle, and I'm not going to fish you out again. Sorry.
Well, I don't feel like we're necessarily getting anywhere with this.
Yeah,
I agree.
kind of feels like we might have to sell the horses.
What if we stable them here and then could we take a boat back?
Yeah, that was one of the things that Belle had brought up.
Just going to be several extra days out of the way as opposed to being able to head north.
I mean, we could just take the river. I mean, we were asked to see if all we were asked were to see was to see if things seemed all right and if there was still activity down this way. And it seems like maybe it is business as usual. And we could just take the river up through.
But we were directly asked to inspect the steam fields,
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, is there
which is the purpose of traveling past them.
something wrong with the steam fields? Are you like geologists or something?
Something.
Oh, okay.
What if we sell the horses here, travel to Cyrex, buy new horses?
Not to be that person, but wouldn't Colt be angry if we sold the horses?
Colt's unconscious in the back of the wagon. We can do whatever we want while he's in that state.
Colt mumbles in his dream, I've only had mustard and mayonnaise for a few days, but I would kill everyone here and then myself to save them. It's a very weird dream state mumble. I don't know. Clearly the drugs are affecting him. That's what it is.
Bucky,
You-
you can keep water cool, correct?
Yeah. That is something I can do. Can turn it into ice, anyway.
You also do know the mayor has offered to stable your horses as a sign of good faith. So if that's something you want to do, you can leave them here. You do have that option. Technically, the
Oh,
Baron.
okay.
the
I thought
Baron-
when he said that, he just meant for our stay here.
Gotta clarify. But no, it's an open offer. Anything that you would need in your investigation. One of the things he offered was they could be stayed at his stables at his manor home for whatever that might be, however long it takes to see your mission done and through.
All right, sure. So we take the south road on foot, not have to worry about animals. We leave everything here. We can still provide some extra means to keep ourselves hydrated and cool. I can also cool non-living materials, so I can keep our clothes. I can potentially keep Colt's armor from overheating too much.
And as well, for any sort of camping, I can handle that and keep us fairly safe as well.
Oh, that's good. I am planning on doing something like that for myself in the future, but I just haven't had the time to focus on it. So if I'm getting your meaning, I don't think I'll have to worry about it too much.
As long as I can still do it at the end of the day, we'll be good.
And then maybe I will still learn it because it is a ritual.
Note
Yeah,
to
Bucky
self.
could probably learn it too.
Unfortunately, JJ figures things out a bit differently than writing it in a book.
Unfortunately.
Right, alright, so we stable our horses here, we take the guide, we travel south, we go up, we have then inspected the steam fields officially, like the geologists that we are, and then continue up to Syrinx. Then go to our next geological endeavor, return to Syrinx, boat, river, Wren's Fork, get our horses, head back up. Everyone's good with this?
Sounds
Yep.
like a plan.
Sounds
Alright.
fantastic to me.
Yvette looks
Does
at
anyone
you.
want to buy more bee shoes from our delightful walking warning here?
Do you have some boots or something, maybe?
I have a number of boots. I have ones that have flowers on them.
Anything other than flowers?
Regular boots that are made out of deer leather, and I have ones that have fur on them, but it's not the best fur. I kind of spilled some tanning oil on it, and so it was supposed to be like nice looking, and now they're a little, but they're on sale, so I guess you could buy them like that.
How much are the ones with flowers on them?
Oh, and she'll walk to her station and pull out these two, like they're kind of like galoshes almost. They were like pretty tall boots, and they have like stitches of sunflowers on them.
And she walks forward and she goes, I would ask humbly 8 copper pieces for these boots.
She'll hand 2 silver.
2 silver to her.
Yes.
She takes it and looks at it and then like goes, okay. Do you need change?
No, you're good. Thank
Oh.
you very much.
Okay. Great. Thank you. Here, hold on. And she goes back to her station and walks back, and she has this small kind of canister that she holds up to you, and she goes, "Here, I've half used it, and the rag's a little messy inside, but it's polish for your boots."
Oh, thank you. Could we use this on oars, big oars shoes if needed as well, or is this a little too dark?
You can. I just probably wouldn't put it near the dye for it. It might wash it out a little bit and make it look ruddy.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thank you. Score. I know. Yeah. She like shows off the coins to her beetle friend.
Let's go to the general store. I'm sure there's something of that sort around here. Let's all buy some more water skins before we get off on this.
Yeah, an extra
That
couple.
sounds
would be
like an
good.
excellent idea.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you guys head back to the trade depot.
Yeah.
All right. You make way to Forks Fortunes. You wait in line yet again. Lines pass. Tiefling taker kind of walks up and goes, "Welcome to Forks Fortunes. How may I help you, fine folk?"
We need some water skins.
Sure. How many? 5, 6, 7?
Should we have 1 or 2 extra each?
I think
So-
at least 1 extra each.
I agree.
12
So at
of
least
them?
6.
Bucky already has 2.
One's full of wine. He's just like, I got him.
Right, then Bucky needs a third.
Oh, jeez.
Certainly.
He's not going to pour that wine on himself. He won't waste it. He'll die in the fields first. We all know it.
Well, whatever it is that you all might perhaps perchance need, water skins. If you're getting 5 of them, then is that about right? Your cost would be a gold piece for the 5.
I'll hand over a gold piece.
All right, you hand over the gold piece. He slides it very good, puts it into the box behind the counter, spends a minute or so in the back, comes forward and has 6 well-stitched leather wineskins, sets them down. They all have a cork topper, and they bear a kind of strange, almost Y pattern that depicts that they were made in Ren's Fork properly.
An odd ask, but do you have perhaps some wide-brimmed hats?
Wide brim hats. We carry a number of haberdashing. How wide of a brim? Just maybe like a field hat, or
Yeah, some just to keep the sun off of our faces, our shoulders, and whatnot. Just to we'll be crossing some open fields and whatnot.
we have netted hats if that's something you'd want. But it's not
Okay.
really the season for anything else.
That seems fine. How much for 6?
For 6 of them, we'll call it we'll call it 8 silver pieces total for the 6 of them.
And she will hand over 8 silver.
Okay, takes it, heads into the back. He comes back and he has what effectively is like almost a it's not so much a beekeeper hat, but it is kind of like an insect repellent, you'd assume. It is a kind of heavy looking kind of foppish hat that sits atop your head, and it has a curtain, a very tightly packed lining like a net. There's a split in the middle so you can move it out of the sides of your face, but you can wear it and it drapes down to a little bit past the shoulders. For Orville, it'll drape down to like mid chest and back. And yeah,
for Morgan until she is returned to her true size. She could hide in it. It could be a tent for her, for all we know. It's put a stick in the middle of it. She could live in it almost.
Fair.
So he takes the silver, hands it over to you, and goes, and might there be anything else that you might require from the folks' fortune?
I don't think so.
Very good, then. We do thank you, of course, for your purchasings today, and hopefully you were able to find everything you need in a timely fashion. If you wouldn't mind, and he slides forward a small serrated piece of paper and a quill, and it's the comment card stating like how pleased you are with your visit. Did you find everything? Did we have everything in stock? Out of 5 stars, how would you rate your customer service experience?
Excellent service, A++, fast shipping.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He takes it and looks at it and goes, oh, well, thank you so much for your generosity and kind words here. You folks, thank you. And he makes a small mark at the bottom of the card and then slides it into a comment box and turns and looks, and there's another woman in the background who's still been kind of like keeping an eye out over the station all day, and he kind of gives like a soft like nod and a smile, then turns back and goes, if that'll be all, please exit the premises so that we can serve our next customer, and we of course thank you for vending here at Folks Fortune.
Thank you.
Of course. You all walk from the trade house. You make way back into the kind of general area of the small village of Wren's Fork. Anything else you want to accomplish before heading back to the manor home of Baron Maximiliano de Cruz?
Nope.
Anyone have anything else?
Yep, I think
Probably gonna grab the ingredients out of the cart
Mhm.
to get Find Familiar going.
Oh, of course. What are you conjuring?
It's an owl,
An owl.
and it's green in color, and its name is Frick.
Frick the owl, the frickin' owl. I like it. All right. So yeah, you'll collect out one hefty dose of best friend juice, and you will conjure your new imaginary friend to join our cast and crew of 4 other imaginary friends at this point. Just the game keeps going. And then with that, you guys are heading back to the Baron's home. Okay.
Yeah.
You all make haste and make pace as best you're able. Back outside of the northern exits of the town, heading towards the kind of rise and area of the landscape, the northern pass leading towards Wren's Fork. You soon come into view in the inside of about half an hour or so of travel by foot. Actually, no, you took your horses into town, didn't you?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
took the
yeah.
cart because we weren't sure if we were going to have to get them sized for
That is
leathers
true.
or anything.
So yeah, you ride back. It takes less than a few minutes then if you really want to kick it into high gear. Quick, easy, beautiful cover girl. Just go. Not sponsored. And you arrive back in the Baron's manor home, stabling your horses and wagons. The Baron's butlers and maid services look over the horses and go, oh, wow, we'll be happy to clean and stable and feed your horses. We welcome again the guests of Baron de Cruz. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Of course. As you all stable your horses, leave your wagon, Colt heads off to his room, passes far from this mortal world, just dies on the spot for how tired he is. Clearly it was purple worm poison the whole time. He just dies on the spot. I'm kidding. He's not doing that.
Finally got him.
Finally got him. It just cuts and it's the screen from Batman. Like, almost got him. Good Lord. Now he just goes to sleep because he goes to sleep. That seems like a simple thing to do. I don't have to think about it now. But you all return back to the manor home. As you all return to the visitors wing, the kind of guest wing of the Baron's home, you hear a slight tapping on the ground, and as you look around, Morgan especially, you can see a small gnomish hand waving you from an open doorway. A number of plates and cups still sit polished and picked clean, but you can see this hand kind of calling you over to speak with you.
Something the matter, Mr. Sallow?
Well, might we, hold on 1 second. We're going to flip him again. Transform. Make my monster grow. We're going to do that. And we're going to do, hold on. It's always like tricky because it's like every image has to be resized. I wish there was Streamlabs, OBS. Get on that image resizer automatic, or I don't know if that's a thing, but that's what I'm going to say it's a thing. Make it to where all of them will just conveniently fit where I need them to fit. There we go. So Mr. Gringle Solo kind of calls you and he goes, yes, if we might perchance share in a bit of a conversation within my room, my traveling companions, of which I am dearly befriended. Could you step inside?
All right.
Please?
Yeah,
I'll
of course,
head
Gringo
inside.
buddy.
Thank you. Yes, I can't wait to talk to you about all of the food I'm eating. And he, as soon as the door clicks into place, he turns and holds a small finger up to his lips, and he reaches onto the side of his vest, and you can see this kind of weird, strange-looking pinwheel that's been attached to his vest, and he holds his finger up and then spins it, and you hear this soft, kind of almost vibrating sound, this woo, 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 and slowly fades out. And he looks around and goes, all right, my dear friends, I suppose we can speak freely now. There is interference for any who would be listening in. Are you quite aware of what is happening in this place? I overheard a number of troubling conversations, and I am not sure I was supposed to hear them.
What do you
I'll be
mean?
quite honest, if there are things going on here, it wouldn't really surprise me.
The staff continue to speak rather candidly about Baron de Cruz selling off a good portion of land across the river. Is that true? Are they expanding the kingdoms of Silverhearth yet again?
He had mentioned he was having a meeting with some potential buyers. We don't really have much insight beyond that.
Oh,
I am not certain where he was intending. Do you not mean near the Barrens?
I'm not quite
Perhaps you
sure.
have more insight into this than we would, if
I,
you overheard some things.
I'm not sure that I overheard some things that might be relevant to your quest here. Of course, I know we are leaving town soon, hopefully, as friends and the like, of course. But I came into a curiosity that sparked a bit of interest in that we're being treated rather well here. At least myself, for doing absolutely nothing, is being treated rather well. And the words that I am hearing for expansion and growth of Ren's Fork are something I've not heard in quite some time. I have yet to meet this Baron fellow, but he seems rather ambitious in this endeavor. And, well, that is a curious thing, especially as a merchant, hearing of these strange occurrences. I'm not quite sure where one would find the funding to buy land in this day and age. They don't make more of it, you know. And why they would deal with a baron instead of, well, the king.
It might
Oh,
not
that's-
be. It could be the MMLR 660 folks that were trying to buy up the forest folks.
The who, what now?
The fairy folks that we came across were also fielding an offer from them for their lumber mill.
Oh, you came across fairy folk? And he turns and looks at Morgan and goes, what property are you going to buy, my dear fey friend?
Actually, it's more so they kind of run the lumber mill up north, but Kynes was going to try and buy out their services so that maybe the King of Silverhearth wouldn't use them. So
Oh.
I wouldn't be surprised if for some reason they were trying to buy land in a place that is not quite scorned by the king, but kind of ignored and kind of seen as the forgive the term redheaded stepchild, since it doesn't really focus on human settlements.
Well, I suppose that would make more sense then. I was merely putting it together, and it seemed. I believe the term you might refer to it in the human settlements is a bit of a coup. People gaining and vying for power underneath the guise of working for an individual, but it does seem as if your explanation is less dramatic for the same. Might we be staying longer in Wren's Fork, or will we be leaving soon?
We were intending on leaving in the morning.
Oh, well then, wonderful. I will make preparations to join you. We'll be leaving down the southern road and moving through the steam fields, yes?
Yes, so
Yeah.
you planning to accompany us through the steam fields, or are you going to head west towards Orin and the
Well,
autumn?
Orin is a rather useful destination, to be sure. I do think at the pass it might be best that we split from there. I had hoped that if you were going to ford the steamlands and steam fields themselves to head further south still, it might be beneficial and behoove me to broker your services further and ensure that we navigate those southern lands together. It would save me a good bit of time to have guide and escort further south. But I do understand if your business takes you elsewhere.
Yes, unfortunately, while passing across the northern pass of the steam fields, we don't intend to head south through them.
Well, very good then. All the same, I will thank you for taking me as far as the crossroads, and I suppose it would be in my best interest to go to Orin and then further south still, past the Hollow Hills themselves, I suppose. Terrible, terrible land, the Hollow Hills they are. But good that you've decided these things for yourselves. Certainly I will look forward to speaking with you. I assume we're leaving properly in the morning?
Yes, bright and early, before the sun rises, we intend to meet with our guide at the south gate.
Good. Well then, if that is the case, and, well, with my worries put to rest, seeming there is no concern, and this was quite well known, not to me, I will thank you for all that you have done for me, O seekers of Galanti, and weavers chosen as you are, and truly I will speak fondly of you and your ability to keep a gnome on the road safe from what may come. Very good then. And he holds his hand up over the pinwheel and it stops spinning. And you slowly hear this woo, 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 and then a stopping sound. He goes, well, truly it has been a glorious time to have you in my company room. You can see that all of the food I have eaten, of course, is being put to good use. But certainly I will look forward to our departure from these lands sometime soon.
Very soon indeed. Enjoy the remainder of your stay.
I shall endeavor to do so. It is always good to look your gifts forward with a smile and a thank you. Unless, of course, those gifts come in a box.
Have you been watching us all day, Mr. Sallow?
Watching? Why, I don't know what you profess. I have been here within these 4 square walls all day long. Keeping busy, I suppose you might say, and keeping stock of my various situations.
Well, I mean, we left your business as your own.
And for that, I, of course, thank you, my dear friend. Of course, it's Parting will be such sweet sorrows tomorrow, but of course I will have fond memories to take with me of the great Seekers of Gulanti and their triumphant passages and walkings throughout the land. The defeater of crows, it might be, as Mr.
Speaking
Honeycutt
of
said.
walkings, it is our intention to walk this southern path. We'll be leaving our horses and carriage here. I know that the comfort of that was one of the reasons you traveled with us in the first place.
Oh, certainly so, but I suppose anyone who works with Weaver's Chosen understand that plans are, how to say, subject to change. I will simply thank you for the comforts you provided, for as long as you were able to provide them to me.
Of course, and if you still wish to travel with us to the crossroads, we welcome your company.
Very good. Might there be any further compensation on my part that is required of your services, or am I free to journey with you as friends of the road?
I have no problem considering you're friends of the road. Keep your keen ears out and let us know when you hear things, such as you did recently.
I have a way of acquiring a number of things, rumors and secrets of the like. I am a individual possessed and seeking of my own personal banks, in a way. Information is a trade, after all, and I do dabble in a bit of trade. Very good, then. I thank you all for stopping by. Certainly we should do tea sometime. And he goes and opens his door back up and kind of shows you the door.
Tea would be delightful. And I will step out.
All right, you step out. He bids you all a good afternoon, an afternoon in which to be good upon, and smiles. And then as you all kind of exit the room, he slowly closes the door. For those of you perceptive enough, Morgan, you start hearing that kind of humming, whistling sound once again from the other side of the door. Before then, you can't hear anything inside of that area. But as he leaves you all to the hallway, let's go ahead and take our break here. It's 8:34 now. Let's shoot for 10 minutes. Sounds good to everybody? We'll shoot for a 10-minute break, y'all. We thank you guys for sticking with us. If there's anyone even still watching, we do appreciate you. That's what we appreciates about you. We'll shoot for 10 minutes, so it's 8:34 Eastern right now. We'll seek to come back at 8:44, so let's shoot for 8:45. Well, nice little even 5 numbers. We'll be back with more Second Wake episode 28 right after this. Let's jump into it. Boom. So when we last left break, the group was deciding what you gonna do. What you gonna do? That's how we're gonna do it. Deciding their route plan and otherwise filler that they need information of to figure out their next journey, how they're gonna get to Shirix, and heading over towards Kyne's Plummet, the area of suspicion, of curiosity, of presumably the strange broadcasts that play at the start of every day. As you all have now met with your gnomish companion, who is very happy to be in your service, Mr. Sallow expressed concerns before the break of land being sold across the river and was rather curious about it, as he had just heard it for the first time while many of you were informed of it over dinner. Mr. Sallow was like, well, that seems like a big deal. And you guys went, we've already heard about that. And they went, okay, man, it's fine. Sometimes the news travels slow.
I was curious about, is that land not under the King of Silverhurst's rule? The barons and whatnot?
Well, you know, all of Ren's Fork is considered to be part of the kingdom. But land is a curious thing, and those who own it will say different things. Good question to have. It's always the fun part when you have to look through things and go, where does power come from? And we have that real good Game of Thrones moment. And someone shanks somebody.
aside from where there's mountains, it's hard to tell certain borders, which that's the world.
That's the world in general. Hello, my dear friends from Jerusalem. I pray for you. Yes, same with Syria. Oh my God. That is something I want to
Would
bring up before we
make
get back into it.
sense.
If you are not already a fan or a big fan of a certain individual known as Sami Zayn, Sammy for Syria, look it up. It's a fantastic charity. I donate it to it every year. That's my small shout out for that. God bless him. Moving right along. So that is where we are at break. You all exit back into the common room of the guest wing
Business.
of the Baron's manor home. The wait staff eye you curiously from the hallway. You can see a butler slowly approach and go, gentle ladies and men, might there be anything that we can provide to you? The Baron is still preoccupied on his business venture this afternoon. Might there be anything that we can accommodate for you at this time?
We were. Well, at this time, I think we're all right. I want to ask a favor of the future, as the Baron did offer that our horses and wagon could be stabled here.
I do believe he's made mention of that before, that no expense nor necessity be spared in the assistance of the great and powerful seekers of Gulanti.
So we'll be heading out on foot in the morning, and we would ask of the Baron's favor and kindness to take care of our horses and let our carriage stay here. Why can't I say wagon?
Well, I don't see that would be an issue. I do believe the Baron does enjoy having animals at the home. Certainly, if he's already stabled them this long, I will make mention of it to the master when he arrives back. And, of course, the Baron will be informed of it so that we can ensure that it is covered.
I should think that it would be within 2 weeks. And, of course, when we arrive, if there were any additional expenses or oddities, we'll gladly assist.
Oh, I'm quite sure that the generosity of our Lord and Master would see no issue at all with the stabling of such packed and beast animals. But I cannot speak for them. Instead, let me go ahead and just say that I will carry the message out promptly, my lords and ladies.
Thank you, then.
Of course, and should you need anything, please do not feel free, and do not hesitate to call upon us if need be.
I'm sorry. Could I possibly get a normal-sized room?
A normal-sized room? Of course. Do you want to live large, as it were?
Something like that.
Well, very good then. Please. He reaches down and kind of like looks over and then walks down a bit from the hallway, knocks on one of the doors, and then kind of opens it after waiting, walks inside this seemingly empty room and comes back out holding a key and goes, "Here you are," and leans down and hands it to you, and it's in both hands. You're holding this big honking key. And he goes, simply lock it up when you are done with it, I suppose.
Thank you.
Of course. And might there be anything else you might need, miss?
Not that I can think of.
All right. Well then, enjoy your adventure. For the rest of you, I thank you so much for providing company to the Baron. He is so full of life and charity that it is good to see him in good company.
Of course. I should hope that we could perhaps join him for dinner again tonight, and he could regale us of this fortuitous day.
I will again include that in your message, and should he seek the company of you all at the dinner table, we shall make arrangements as such. Very good then. Take care, and please, enjoy your stay. And the butler will turn and exit. You all are left in the common rooms. Is there anything you all want to accomplish or do?
Bucky will ask Vel if she wouldn't mind teaching him detect magic.
All right. I will. How much wine have you had today?
None yet.
Okay, right. We can get started then. Before we get started, because it will take some time, lengthy process for me to explain. Before you could even begin to put pen to paper, I have to go over a lot of things. Morgan, did you want anyone to check out that doll or be there for you, or are you going to go into your big room and do what you need to do?
I mean, I figured I would probably do it around you guys just in case.
Okay.
Well, how about this? I'll help Morgan, and then you can teach Bucky, and we'll.
Of course. Now, Bucky, let's get started on this now. We'll open up my book. I'm like, now you must understand first that it's very important. Every single stroke of the pen. And I am lacking a hand, so you're going to take double as long as it usually would. Helping him copy, but I'm going to be super annoying about it.
It's like there's one spell copied over 3 pages in Common, Elvish, and then High Elvish, which is like Elvish, but it's got a lot more umlauts in it. Just the most pretentious way to write Elvish. It's effectively you have Elvish, which is the standard, and then you have like Lord of the Rings Elvish, and there's just way too many dots going on over the place. It just makes it look way fancier than it actually is. But yeah, the two of you sit down. Bucky, I think you already bought your ink you needed to copy and transcribe spells.
Yes.
So, and are you applying them to your? You said you're going to tattoo your spells. Is that what it is?
I haven't like fully thought it out, but yeah, that seems about right.
All right. So,
Like go into his skin, yeah.
as Vel is teaching you, you're sitting there with magic ink and like effectively like every high schooler before the big test, writing your notes on the inside of your arm, trying to get it all down and like wrapping it around and like going around the wrist. And yeah, sure. Between the two of you, you can mark off the gold. It's what 2 hours or 1 hour per level, I think.
2 hours, yeah.
2 hours per level. So yeah, the two of you can be preoccupied with that. JJ and Morgan, you head into the larger, normal person-sized, one human-sized room, please. That again has been spared no expense, is lavish and luxurious, a full-size bed and all the fixings and to do. And you prepare to attune to your doll, your new doll. Orville, is there anything you want to be doing while everyone else is mucking about?
Orville would like to maybe find his way to the library and find a book about the wildlife of the steam fields.
Sure, go right ahead. You can ask to get. I'm going to try to move this down. There we go. You can ask to get access from the staff to the Baron's study, of which they, of course, will allow you, and they'll lead you on further to the manor. So you guys are copying spells. That doesn't require anything here, unless Vel wants to monologue being an obnoxious high elf for the rest of the stream. I think we got like an hour left. I mean, you could, really stretch the fat out. We can make it take 2 hours, but that's fine. We'll spare people the pretentiousness of it. But if you ever want to,
Punctuation on your pinky is all wrong. Why you got to move it further down on your arm? What's wrong with you, Bucky? Come on.
just tons of it. So it's just if you need an imagery for it, it's just Catholic school, just big old ruler and slapping the wrists and slapping the knuckles. That's how it goes. But yes, Morgan, you hold this kind of like strange, dark looking doll in your hands. The instructions were to bond and spend time with it, to allow it to attune to your very soul and nature, and it would take a single curse from you and apply it to the doll itself. You begin to do that. Yes, no, affirmative. Answer in the affirmative. Yep. Okay. Answer in the form of a question. What is get rid of this shit? You hold this strange kind of wicker and tied doll, this almost voodoo-esque doll in your hands. As you kind of commune with it a bit, you can feel it begin to form a bond. It seems to connect with you on a spiritual level. What once was just parts and pieces that made up this item now holds within it this almost spiritualness to it. There is a a scent that fills your nose. You can feel and otherwise become aware of the scent and the vibrations, the connection of yourself and this item, the various elements that make up the area in which it was crafted and made. You spend an hour attuning to an item, so you can mark that you've used one of your attunement slots that are for your up to 3 magical items you can have on a character. JJ, you watch as small, faint, dancing lights, these small kind of blinking, dim and pale lights begin to emanate from the doll and then slowly dance their way over the hands of Morgan and seem to trace up her body and her frame. The regular-sized, almost comically big doll seems to begin to shake and shudder, and you can swear you can hear giggling and laughter from various types of fae that are nowhere in the area, but you can still feel their presence. Their presence is known to you all. You see these lights engulf and envelop Morgan in a small kind of shimmer. She begins to change ratio. She's going to get ratioed, so she's getting canceled, unfortunately, but no. The ratio seems to shift as this large wicker doll begins to slowly shrink and Morgan begins to grow several inches into several feet. And at the end of an hour-long process, she holds in her hand a doll, a small wicker doll, no bigger than about a stack of nickels, not very large at all now. As it seems to be possessed of this strange curse, and there is a dancing of kind of dark green light as Morgan stands there in front of you, her being restored, and many of her items kind of slowly, sluggishly making their way back. Anything that was affected by the initial casting of this is pulled and peeled from her, and so you can kind of see that almost the we're back thing where they start growing and getting bigger again. But she slowly begins to fit into her old self and stands restored, seemingly, and now holds a dimly glowing wicker doll between her 2 fingers.
Don't lose that.
I will try not to.
Mm-hmm. So yes, you do not suffer any of the negative effects. Your hit dice is restored, but your body is still a bit sluggish at this time, so you are still feeling the effects of it on your constitution and total hit points from your time of being a cursed individual, and you can still feel a deep and almost festering, seeding connection to this fey magic that still affects you, but now you have effectively passed on the negative effects to this inanimate object. Don't lose it. Don't break it.
Sorry, the only thing that I should change is my AC, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then my strength was messed up, but are we...
Yep, you're able to restore your strength, restore your dex, restore your... All of the positives go away, all the negatives go away. The only thing that remains is the amount that you rolled on your hit dice. That's it. But otherwise, you are returned to normal. No more negative damage on your attack rolls. You are restored to a normal, medium-sized creature. Right.
Is the bag that small still, or is it still big?
Oh, it's a big bag for a huge doll. But the doll now is yay big. You could almost put a little eye hook at the top of it and turn it into an earring or a necklace.
Yeah, I was gonna turn it into a necklace actually.
Yeah, if you want to. If you have like some
stuff for it.
Some spare thread and some leather scraps, you could easily weave a small basket necklace and kind of wear it around your neck and have this strange little effigy to your smallness available to you at all times.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that.
All right, so that happens. Orville, you are escorted throughout the Baron's manor home. You make way through the various halls and passages that create this large kind of dominating structure and space. Before too long, you arrive at a grand gilded set of doors that are painted in the most immaculate white with gold trim. Your butler of choice looks you over and goes, the study, my lord. And they
open up the room to the study and allow you entrance to a rather, not to say contemporary, because nothing really is in this area, but a nice enough room, possessed of 4 large bookcases that run the lengths of the walls and create a small section. You can see a fireplace built into the far existing wall, and it dominates much of the area. You can see adorned in it is a beautiful oil canvas painting seeming to depict a well-groomed and well-dressed man shaking hands with a number of individuals of tall, toppling horns, and a number of people behind them with their hands on this individual's shoulder that sits over the mantelpiece. There are a number of tables and a small desk in the room. You can still see that there is a half-empty bottle of some type of alcoholic beverage and 2 clean glasses overturned on the mantelpiece. And it does seem to be a place in which the Lord studies. You look over and there's a wide selection of books and varieties of literature on display and available. So yes, the butler turns to you and goes, "Might you require a snack or perhaps a smoking pipe to enjoy your reading, sir?"
Oh, no, thank you. I'm quite good with just the book and maybe some of that, whatever's over there on the mantle.
Of course. Please do help yourself and cause no mess, but if there is a mess to be made, please call one of the staff, and we shall ensure and endeavor to clean up after you, sir.
I thank you also so much.
Of course. Might there be anything else you need? Simply knock thrice upon the door, and a member of our waitstaff will come with bells.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, sir.
Have yourself a great read, sir. And they turn and leave and close both the doors behind them, and you're left in the study. What is it that you're looking for in this area?
Just a book on wildlife.
Wildlife?
Maybe specific to the steam fields.
Of course. Go ahead and roll investigation.
That is a 15.
15, okay. You look over the various tomes. There's everything from literature about good business practices, tales about merchants, those who speak of nobility, proper guidelines and processes for those of noble station, number of books that depict dances and things of the nature, some historical texts depicting the rise of the Silverhearth Kingdom and all of that of Ravan itself and the founding of the lands. And you do come to view local etymology of the steam fields, a seeming less so of a book and more of a collection of field notes. It almost seems more of a journal in sense. And as you pull it free, the front is not a hard front. It is a leather bound book that kind of flops over like a weaved handmade journal. And as you set it down and you look it over and pull the front cover, it does seem to be exactly that. A number of like an explorer's guide to the steam fields, and surprisingly, much of the southern lands, leading all the way down to the Autumnus, as far south as an area where Bucky might be hailing from. But yeah, you look it over. What is it that you're hoping to find?
Any large predators that might lurk out there, and also any tasty bugs.
Of course. You look over the book over the course of the hour or two that you have, while your friends are busy with their other works and hobbies and things of that nature. As you look over the area and you reach the chapter predominantly speaking of the steam fields and things and goings on there, you do note that it speaks rather highly of the rich and vast wildlife that exists within the steam fields. A number of creatures that find the climate and heat and pools to be much to their like and enjoyment. You see it is home to a number of reptilian creatures that call the steam fields their home, a number of cold-blooded things that find the heat very favorable, beetles and the like that live, and mud bugs that find the natural habitat to be much to their enjoyment. Overall, you get a sense that, surprisingly, for as dangerous as this place is, the notes list various
different colonies and etymology and creatures that exist within and are very unique to the steam fields themselves. There is actually there's little to speak of other than these notes stating of all these different finds and creatures that exist within the steam fields.
Awesome.
Anything else you want to try to research about this area?
Not particularly, but if I'm in here, I may as well just grab another book on a whim. Yeah.
Sure, why not?
How should I roll for it? In D100?
What do I have listed? Hold on. Let me pull up his books real quick. Roll me a... You can do it in Avri, which might be easy. Actually, just, roll a D100 and then just cut it in half. Do a D50. Be easy to do.
That's 72 half to 36.
36. We're not going to 86 the chump stuff. We're going to 36 the chump stuff. Let's see here. Okay. So you walk around the small study, kind of look over the area. You kind of just browse the spines of various books, many of which are unlisted. You come across a strange looking text that has a very heavy spine. You pull it back, and it actually is a book written in Giant. It is an Aklo written book, and you can see large, heavy runes on the cover. It has actually a rather heft to it. The book is fairly large, almost too large for you. And as you kind of pull it free and set it down, you look it over. Do you read, speak, or write Aklo or Giant?
Orville speaks Giant.
You speak Giant. Congrats. You can read it. You look over the front cover, and it says happenings and goings on of the stone fields. You open it up, and it seems to be a strange looking historical text that speaks of a time in which the lands of Ravon were once owned and operated by the kings and giants of the land. It speaks very, very heavily of the King of Five Winds, who once ruled over all of the area, and that one day the winds would return to Ravon, either by volition or very bitter winds themselves. And it seems to be a kind of a strange book, both of a feasing and seeming historical text, but also of omen and passages that seemingly would be considered very much fantasy to some, but a powerful text to consult for those of more auspicious natures, I guess is the right way to look at it.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, you read through it, and you get the general gist. A lot of it just speaks of how the land is tamed and made, and how certain creatures had roamed through. There were a number of villages and things of the nature, and you get a general sense that before this was quote unquote founded and taken in for the king, it was a thriving populist area of giant and giant kin alike. Before its passing of such. Go ahead and roll me an investigation check for this book.
That's an 8.
An 8. You read through it. There are a number of mentions of the teeth of the mountain, which seems to be something that the Middle Hearth Mountains might have been called. They were referred to as teeth often. You get the general sense of the story, but it seems to trail off into just various beliefs of the sundering of the mountains and the rising of new, and it just kind of reads as what you'd expect to be from giants. Just everything is big and terrifying and scary. So time does pass. Each of you complete your various goals. Bucky, you have a new arm tattoo that you've created upon yourself. You've adorned yourself with, and you now have detect magic on your spell book.
Yeah.
I'm really happy with those last few umlauts, I suppose. That's good job.
Yeah, it's a compliment at the end of the day. For the rest of you as well, Morgan, you return with JJ, now full-sized once more, all of your gear fitting properly. You can finally see everyone at your perceived height and look down on others once again. You've never been more glad to be taller than Orville. Orville, you return back, having put your book away and stolen a few sips of the scotch that sits at the desk of the study, and return back in the company of one of the butlers, who kind of chats you up and is like, "Did you happen to find what you were looking for, my good sir?"
I very much did. Your lord here keeps a very, very nice study. Pass my compliments along to him, please.
I shall be sure to include it with my report, as with the rest of your group's requests. Be good, sir. And they exit you to the common room for the guest's house. But you all arrive back. It is past noon, a little bit later into the early evening at this point. If there's anything else you guys would like to do before heading off to a long rest, or rather moving forward into the evening, let me know and we can do that then. Seeing a lot of shaking heads. All right. So, easy enough. Time passes. You all relax in the common room, partake of a lunch, the small hospitality of the manor home itself. You hear a large ruckus echo out from further down in the manor home. And after about an hour or so, after hearing something loud and echoing and booming from the far side of the manor, a butler arrives and walks in your direction to greet you all and go, "To my esteemed and welcomed guest, the Baron shall say, the Seekers of Galanti, he would be delighted to have you in his presence for dinner. He must apologize, though. He forgot to order a proper celebration of your return and seeing you off. He asks that you be quite all right with a selection of cured meats and cheeses, something lighter for dinner."
Oh, that's quite all right.
Very good then. So, dinner shall be served promptly within the hour. Please find yourselves to clean up and dress in proper dinner attire or what suits you for such, and the Baron will look forward to your presence. All right. The butler will, having delivered their message, head off. You all want to make yourselves ready and move to dinner?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Easy to do. Let's do this. You all make way, form, and function throughout the manor home, are guided to, once again, the welcoming embrace of the large kind of dining hall. The Baron looks, and you can see him well dressed for dinner in his usual brightly colored attire. A bit of worry across his face, but none too much that would concern a man of his station. Let's slide him over here. Let's put him over there. Let's kill this. And look, that almost fits. We did it. We did it, America. He turns, and you can see there's for a moment, those of you who are keen-eyed enough, Morgan, and those possessed of perception as a trained skill, you note there was a hefty scowl across the Baron's face until the doors open for your arrival. You catch but a glimpse of it, and he turns and goes, "Ah, welcome, my dear friends. So, certainly I hope that Ren's fork has treated you well, eh?"
Oh, yeah, very well.
Very well indeed, of course. I have found that in my experience and, how to say, curiosities in baroning, the people of the town are very welcoming and follow direction quite well to keep the peace. I tell you, I am, at present, I feel rather stuffy. Might we embark into the garden to enjoy of the meats and cheese, huh?
Certainly.
Very good. Please, we take this outside. Like then he kind of ushers away the wait staff. They kind of nod. You see a few of the butlers kind of like roll their eyes a bit and go, "Of course, you sir. Of course, sir. Of course, of course." And he immediately marches out, not waiting to be kind of let free, and marches out of the dining hall and kind of leads you all through the south end of the manor until you are kind of entreated to these large glass floor-to-ceiling doors that he kind of pinches and slams open. They slide and glide along tracks. The curtains brushed aside as he seems to have a bit of frustration in his movements. You see a large kind of beautifully white marbled table with very elegantly crafted metal chairs. Already you can see a maid like hurrying to put a tablecloth out and a candle and like kind of set up for the area and a large pitcher of water to meet the table. It was, come now, away. You're ruining the mood. The Baron de Cruz wishes to speak only to the Seekers of Golante. I am treating guests, you know. They go, of course, sir. Of course, my dear Baron. And they kind of curtsy and exit the area. You look and you can see this large kind of open-aired porch area has a rise to it and allows view over the actual fork of the river itself. You can see the lands heading southward, and it actually provides a very beautiful view of the city and village of Wren's Fork, as well as the surrounding area. It is a beautiful evening, and you feel the cold northern winter winds continue to breeze through the area and provide a very nice evening. The Baron sits at a tall seat overlooking the area, keeping his back to the manor home itself. He goes, please, my friends, won't you sit and please have this company with me, huh? I do not apologize. I do not believe we have met. And he points to Morgan. He goes, I am Baron Maximiliano de Cruz. And who might you be, you fetching creature?
I am, Morgan Quinlan.
Morgan Quinlan, a beautiful name for a very tall and beautiful lady. Welcome. You are not a traveler or a merchant? I'm not afraid that I have had the pleasure of your graces.
Oh, I'm part of the Seekers.
Apologies. Yes, they had two friends who stayed last time. A rather pudgy gnomish fellow who is eating me out of house and home, might I tell you. And I believe another who is very tired from the road ahead. So I do humbly apologize for being so rude as to not introduce myself formally to you.
It's totally fine.
But such things are ill-fitting of a noble such as myself. I, please ask for your forgiveness in my rudeness, eh?
You are forgiven.
Thank you, and 1,000 thank yous at that. Please, have a seat. We will, discuss a couple of things. I'm sure there is much to speak of Wren's Fork. I want to know how it is that you people have taken into this fair village, the small land that I look over and guard for the King of Silver Earth. Please, have a seat. Have some of the... There are no finger foods. Why are there no finger foods? Come on. On the double, I need finger foods. And he calls out to it, and you see the doors slide open again, and a few servants come out with trays and start setting down, just literally like you can still see like the knife cuts from the cheese. They haven't even had time to kind of like breathe even. They've just been pulled out of the kitchen, and just random kind of like quick plating. Gordon Ramsay would yell at these people. There's like a number of different like issues with the plates, but they're quick, they're made. They sit down, he goes, wonderful, and he takes and starts eating. He looks to you and goes, okay, so, apologies, I have not eaten all day. Not to be rude, my friends. How do you find Wren's Fork? You have spent the day among my people, eh?
Quite accommodating and welcoming. It's been good here.
Ah, this is good, yes. And the business you are here for, fitting of counters or counterfeiters. Yeah. Have you found any nose or notion of this nonsense?
Oh, it looks like everything's truly in order at this time.
Oh, this is good then. I will say when I was confused or rather curious to hear of such a thing still existing after your predecessors came through and dealt swiftly the hammer of justice, as they say, eh?
Just one of those things in bureaucracy. They didn't dot all the I's and cross all the T's, and so it was left to us to make sure everything was truly in order. Assurances for the King of Silverhearth.
Of course, assurances. Yes, they have all these things. Of course, then, I welcome all of the beautiful peoples in my town to speak favorably of me and my accommodations, the trade routes, and all such. Everything in order. I believe they say in Silverhearth, everything in its place and everything has its place, huh?
Very much so.
This is good. For the rest of you, how do you find the city? It is not much, but it is growing. It is constantly, I find people wanting to move here and speak so fondly of how nice the summers and winters are, eh?
I mean, everyone that we've, I think everyone we've met has been quite charming in their own ways and kind and fairly good folk.
Oh, yes,
Not
they
a
have
bad place.
nothing but good folk here. As I say, there are no troublemakers that exist within Wren's Fork. They are all upstanding, beautiful, horny people, eh? Many of them that are the business owners and shopkeepers and the like are all great friends of mine, personal friends of mine, that I want to ensure that if you're living here, you are, as they say, as close to kin as mine as a family would be, huh? Do you find this to be true?
Sure. Certainly, yes, sir.
Well, good then. And I would hope that, of course, if the days of seeking and questing and working as a government dog might elude you, or you seek a change of pace for such things, you might think favorably of Wren's Fork. I could make a very beautiful manor home that you all might live in one day too. We could be friends, neighbors, in fact. Should the life of a adventurer not fit your fancy any longer.
Mr. Baron de Cruz.
Please, De Cruz is fine, or Maximiliano. It is both fine, eh?
Are you feeling all right? You seem tense.
Oh,
You seem a little rustled. Just between friends.
oh, of
You
course,
just-
between friends.
You seem just a little shaken. Maybe need a little massage on the shoulders or something, or
Now that you mention
just a breather.
it, you bring up a good point, eh? I went to bed after our dinner and thought about the rather curious circumstances that have found you into Wren's Fork. Of course, I am not saying that I am not enjoying the company. Just the timing of such things works out in a sense that I had much excitement in my mind, so I did not sleep the best the previous evening. When I met for my business dealing this afternoon, it was a mixture of good and bad, and overall, the individuals that are looking to how to say, build upon the lands of Wren's Fork, at least across the river, were heated at certain times. It's nothing to concern yourself with properly. Truly a passing of the mind itself. But just to say that I apologize for my less than exuberant mood. I do not mean to allow you to suffer through it, my friend.
No, that's why you have friends. You can tell them stuff. But I just wanted to make sure that you, sir, were all right, and that you didn't need a second to just relax and vent about whatever happened, or
Mm,
just make sure you're okay. Essentially, you've been so
no,
kind to us that I
I
just wanted to make sure you were okay.
I appreciate that you are concerned for my well-being. Do not tell me. Hold on here. Lightning, huh?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Jojo Lightning.
Yes. Sir.
Like the rabbit, like the Jojo Rabbit. Very nice fellow. So yeah, it is to say, perhaps I am wearing my how to say the mental strain is on my sleeve. I don't mean to express any ill will or anything of that sort. It's just a stressful endeavor. You do not sleep very well. You wake up not in the company of well liked individuals. You have a lonely, very cold bed the evening prior. It does not put you in the correct mindset, I would say, to do business. I prefer to be relaxed, well taken care of, and to be met on my own terms, and having to ride out very uncomfortably in the wagons and the carriages and the blah blah blah, all the way out there to meet them and talk about clearances and rights and writs and blah 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 blah. And of course, as well, when you have demands to be met and people to answer to, and it is a very stressful job to be a baron. They do not speak of this when you are being groomed for the position, but certainly to say, yes, it is a weight upon my shoulders that I must bear. A cross, if you will, like marching up a mountain. It must be done for the betterment of all of my people, to ensure the prosperity of these lands, and ensure that all those that I seek to guard from the harshnesses of the world around them is maintained to a degree that is acceptable with my upbringing.
Oh yeah, certainly. I hear
Truly.
you.
In many ways, I might say that you all are like me, huh? If you do not do what is asked of you, there are questions. If you all seek to do things that are out of the norm, there are answers that must be given. And of course, if you fail in what you are doing, there are people who are disappointed and homes that are ruined, eh? All curiosities that we share, huh?
Yes, sir.
If you might excuse me, I need to again, I'm just now realizing my hands, and he holds his hands up, and you can see this kind of like small bit of like pink dust across his palms. And he goes, I forgot to wash before meeting for this arrangement. I do apologize. It seems as if I have some of the dust on me from earlier today underneath my fingernails. I'm going to go to the little baron's room, and I will return back shortly so that we can continue this thrilling dinner conversation, eh?
Certainly.
Sure.
I thank you for allowing me this small recess, my friends. Please enjoy of the fingery foods and the water here. As you will, I will return shortly. I'll be right back. Please don't have all of the good conversation without me, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Just a moment, my dear friends. And he'll get up and walk away. In doing so too, I'm gonna walk away for a second. If you guys want to talk amongst yourselves, you may do so. Anything you'd like. I'll be right back.
He's so strange.
I mean, he just up and left us. That was unexpected.
He's usually pretty like. Last night he was pretty excitable and
He was exuberant last night.
yeah. But today, I'm not. I'd have to think on it for a second.
Bucky, and the answer may not come to you immediately, but you know the lands pretty well. Pink dust? Perhaps
I don't know.
think on that, maybe roll the d20 when there's someone here to give an answer.
I know.
Yeah. Nature check.
Yeah. I don't want to assume ill of him. He's been very kind and understanding, and helpful. Most definitely. In fact, if there's any way that we can convince him that we are worth of trust, that he could let us know of any problems that we could help him with. I look upon this place very favorably, regardless of if there are some minor things dwelling in the shadows.
It
been
seems like
good.
he's been trying to do good for the people that are scorned here. And he's trying to protect them.
I'm just wondering if perhaps things were a bit heavy-handed with him today? Whoever he
Yeah.
was dealing with?
I kind of wish we had known or could know who was with him, but
Well, maybe we can get a little bit of that information.
mhm.
Is there anything you all want to roll or ask for or use your skills for?
Pink dust.
Pink dust.
Nature check for the pink dust.
Sure, go right ahead.
All right.
Would Orville have any sort of insight on this, having read about the steam fields, or no?
In your reading, you don't recall anything particularly of pink dust. However, Bucky, go ahead and roll your nature check.
I got a 7.
A 7, okay. Well, you beat a DC 5 for the basics of it. Pink dust, typically, in that kind of dried cake over it. You're not sure where it would be found in this area, but it's usually fairly common with clays and kind of like the wet moisture that then when it dries, it turns into a dusty like chalk. That seems to typically be where ground or dirt or earth of that nature might be found. So it wouldn't be fairly uncommon near the river's end or the forks, but it definitely would be like a type of clay. You're most likely.
Might be some kind of river clay.
All right. As you all are kind of thinking amongst yourselves, you hear the doors slide back open. The Baron walks back out, hands cleaned and still holding a small kind of handkerchief to kind of almost move a bit of his fingers around to smooth them out. And he sits back down and pulls his chair free. He goes, "All right, apologies, my dear friends. The Baron has returned, so you may bear on all of your good stories, eh?" And he sits down. He goes, "That is a joke. A very good one." Eh?
Fantastic.
Thank you. Sorry for that. Yes, I again apologize for my earlier behavior. It's very unbecoming of my station. It's just oh goodness, I am so not used to having the company of good friends to share in these days and in and out. I love having people over and staying with me for a time. It's just I am unused to not having to put on the mantle of nobility around others, eh?
Well, I don't think you have to force your station. If that's not something you're used to or comfortable with, you can always just be yourself. I'm not gonna tell on you. I like this place, and not everyone's got to be fancy all the time.
Of course, there are a number of things that they tell you. You wear a mask and you pretend to be something or not. But again, I was born to a baronet, and I became a baron through right and writ and proper servitude at the feet of the throne. And to the point now where I find myself here. Certainly, please tell me. Certainly, you must have done some fun things, within Ren's Fork. Come now, maybe you made some good purchases or interesting conversation. The local color, perhaps. Did you stop by the guppy? Maybe you knock a few back, if you know what I mean. Topple some, topple some horns. Go for a roll with the hooves, if they say so.
I think that's
We
the one
we
thing
didn't
that
get
we
the
didn't-
time for there.
You don't have the time
But
for
there's
that.
still time today.
There is still time. The night, as they say, it is young, eh?
we took in the color and the enjoyment and made quite a bit of time at the tavern on the Fork. A lovely establishment.
Oh yes, beautiful place. They always have all of the meetups for the card game that I told you about. It's a
Yes,
beautiful, beautiful
actually,
place.
A
JJ
few
just
of
holds up a
us
box.
were able to.
Did you get cards?
We got cards.
Oh my goodness. Well, if you don't mind, we could play. I have my dragon deck. It's very good. You know, we could ante could play. I mean, if you have very good cards, I'm not sure how much dealing you did, but or how much you were able to buy in. You know, as they say. But it'd be pretty good.
We could play. Trying to think of what other stuff we did today, though. We met Vivette.
Yvette?
Yeah.
Yvette.
She does the blubber leathers.
Blother lovers.
Small buzzing creature around her head.
Hey, the beetle girl. Yeah, the beetle girl good.
As a friend that looks like this.
you hold up your shoe. He goes, oh my goodness, you take a shoe off at the dinner table. Okay, my friend, you know, hey, we are all comfortable here, you know. Hey, hold on. I'm going to get wild with you, my friend. And he reaches up to his neck and he unbuttons the top button of his dress. He goes, look at that. Now look at us, eh? The pair of us, who would have thought?
Look at us.
Look how relaxed we are now. Look at this. Look at that. One whole button. Oh, my father, he roll around his grave about this. Look at this. Oh. And he kind of like pulls it down a little bit, and there's like a bushel of chest hair. And he just goes, "Oh yes, no shoes." You know what? I like your style, Mr. Judd. Fuck shoes today, eh? And he kicks off his like very nice, decorative, expensive looking footwear and slides it on the table and stretches back in his chair and goes, "Oh yeah, now this is where it is at, eh?" Look at this.
Who can blame you? You had a busy day. It's time to relax.
Yeah, completely. You know, you bring up a good point. Do not tell me. Hold on. Duende, eh?
Downday.
It's apologies for the it was an accent, yeah. Because of course I knew the correct way to say it. It's just translation from Elvish. Anyway, you are right though. You say these right words. I think we all deserve to relax, eh? Tell you what, my treat. We all order in some company tonight. Get a little weird. Maybe have a pool evening. You know, my treat. I buy this time, you buy next time. And maybe we all hang out. We share in good company, eh? Relax. Yeah?
Well, that is a very generous offer. Been a while. I'm not sure that we all would be so forward.
Okay, I mean, you know, I don't want to pressure nobody. Just simple to say, you know, I don't get company over very often. And, you know, when in Ren's Fork, you do as the Ren's Forkers, you know, you fork it up, as they say. I think that's how the kids say it in town. They fork it around. You know, I'm not really in with the crowds, as they say, but I see them. They have all the festivals that I approve and fund, and you know, I never get the invite to go to the festivals unless I'm like the one hosting the fest. Anyway, it's fine. No big deal. You probably have a big day planned tomorrow. What are you doing tomorrow, eh?
Well, we were planning on taking to the road, actually.
Oh, the road. So soon, even. You barely just got here. Your investigation is, as they say, finished, eh? You figured it out?
Oh, Ren's Fork is clean and clear.
Clean and
There's
clear.
just other things that we need to handle on our way.
Correct. When you are right, you are right. You know, it's. I'm sorry to have the people send you out here to waste your time. Hopefully, you still get paid the same, eh? Whether
Yeah, actually, we do. It's really going to be covered. It's
Oh, good.
pretty cozy.
Yeah, so they, you can go out, tell your people, my people, we're all good here at Ren's Fork. Early morning. You said you're leaving by road. You're not going to take a ferry, or are you heading back north already?
Well, not quite yet, but you know how these things are. We do have to be in the right places that we are assuring are fine. And
The right places? Apologies, I'm not following.
it would be improper to not properly investigate what we've been asked to look into. So we do have a few more things to go to, but Ren's Fork is.
Of course. You're investigating Orin? They got something going on over there?
No, we still have to pass by the steam fields, as annoying
Oh,
as that will be.
yes, the steam fields, they're very annoying. I recently helped to fund and finance a breakthrough on the river leading through the Middle Earth Mountains. It would be no issue at all in my station to be able to procure you my personal staff to sail you through the Middle Earth Mountains. We could have you within Lake Juniper within a half day even. It would be no trouble at all. I'd be happy to fund your voyage. Maybe I even go with you. We have a bunch of fun. The river, she is a beauty this time of year. You get the nice winter winds, and then the heat as it blows over the mountains. Oh my god.
Well, we were considering that as an option, but
Yes, of course. Why don't we make a day of it? I could pack all of my things tonight, and in the morning we all meet up. We get on the the Baron's ferry, and
is it appropriate for a baron to just
oh, who's going to know, eh?
vanish?
I mean, you're not going to say. I mean,
there's those people that watch the river.
oh, please! I know all the people around the river. They won't say nothing about it. Yeah, no, I think we all deserve a nice getaway and a treat, eh? We all just get together. We go on my ferry. We head to Lake Juniper. By the afternoon, we'll be lakeside, kicking it back among the beautiful cherry blossoms, eh? Enjoying the finest wine in all of Syrinx.
So lake/beach episode.
I don't want to infer, but it kind of sounds to me like you very much so want to get away. Maybe it's just that you deserve a break, a little vacation, but is everything all right?
Oh, everything is fine. I just, I want to make myself available to you. The steam fields, they are, how you say, treacherous and dirty and dangerous, and I feel like...
We are Weaver's chosen.
Oh, no, of course. I do not mean to say that you cannot handle it, of course. I more mean to say, my dear friends, I have come to enjoy your company so much. It would just, I feel like you work very hard. I have to imagine you do. The Hunicut, Huni boy, I think he's resting. He have many stories about the fighting on the road, and he tell a couple of my maids about all these misadventures you're finding yourselves on. I merely want to offer a dual service to my good people. The Weavers chosen the Seekers of Golanti. You were sent out here to double up on something your other people already did. I feel bad as it is that there is even this concern among my people. I'm looking for, yes, an excuse to spend a day on the river among good friends, good drink, and good company. And you need to head wherever you need to go. If you're crossing the steam fields, I don't assume you're going south. I assume you're going up to the Middle Earth Mountains themselves. The ferry prices these days, they are outrageous. I agree with you 100%. And the people that want to fortify the road, too expensive as well. Far too expensive. So I'll use my private ferry. I'll get my crew ready to go first thing in the morning. We can make a whole day of it. I'll pack drinks, maybe a Speedo. Maybe we go a little crazy, and... we have a good old party time all the way up there. And then when we arrive, we cross the mountains into Lake Juniper, all business. Every button, he kind of folds it over. Every button buttoned. Nobody knows. I'm just following your orders. You're bossing me around, you know. You're doing due diligence on the new waterway. You know, it's all cut and collar, as they say, eh?
As appealing as literally everything that you just said is, we have made arrangements and promises to our long-time traveling companion to assist him further down the road. And it would be uncouth of us, unfortunately, to...
A companion? The little guy who eats a lot, yeah?
Yes.
Oh, goodness. If he need to head south, I could arrange for travel for him, too. I mean, there'd be no problem at all. No expense spared for my friends, of course. I want to make sure that you are taken care of, and I feel like the powers that be, they've beaten us down for so many years, you know? They just want to tear you down and send you and go look at this and go look at that and you're a fuck up or whatever. You know, it's enough to make anyone crazy. So why don't I can arrange that as well. I'll arrange personal travel. I can send my best man on it. He'll drive your friend down to the south. Where does he need to go? To Orin or further still?
I think he was going to go a little further than Orin.
It sounded like he was intending to go further, but
Well,
I think you'd have to discuss that with him.
Well, I mean, of course, if he's your friend, he'll listen to you more than he'll listen to me, of course. But I know there is a number of individuals in town, good, trustworthy people. One of them, oh, goodness gracious, yeah, he's the ear-bitten, oh, goodness, Lithiel. Oh my goodness, Lithiel, a great fellow. He's a hunter of some renown. Very good ladies' man, from what I hear. He has very good looks. But the individual, he knows the road backwards and forwards as if it's tattooed on his ass. We could have him. I could hire him personally out of my own treasury, guide this individual southward, provide a carriage, horses, their works, make sure your friend is very well taken care of, huh?
Well, he may already be on retainer from us to take us to the steam fields.
This is good then. My dear friend does already have a job. We just we go, we have our fun, and he goes, he does the job you pay him for. I'll pay him extra, make sure that he is taken care of, and we provide one of my carriages and some of my horses. Make sure your friend arrives at his destination. Bada boom, they're all the way done, eh?
This is considerably enticing.
Well, it is what it is. You call me out a bit, Miss Lightning, huh? I am in agreement with you. You say I am stressed out, I am upset, I'm not having a good day. You need to go somewhere, I can provide it. I see a beautiful opportunity to not only find myself upon great friends throughout the river, but also an entire day for which we can play Collected Conquest, eh? I have not gotten to do so, and a whole day of doing this while drinking among friends might be for a great day. I agree. I am being a bit, stone-handed in this, but it is so rare that I find people that I connect with in this manner that I wish to spend as much time as possible with you all. It's so hard to talk to people, you know?
If we take the path we're speaking of, if you get the message we left with your one of your attendants, we were planning on hopefully leaving our horse with you and returning here before making our way back north. So
of course,
it certainly wasn't going to be the last time we were hoping to see you.
No, of course, and I don't mean to say like please don't leave or nothing of that sort. I more mean to. It's so rare that you get to meet heroes, you know. The Weavers Chosen are spoken so very highly of that to get to speak in your graces is truly an honor, even for one such as myself, eh? The stories you have, the creatures you have battled, the rights and feats you have accomplished in your long journeys are all things that I wish to hear of and impart the lessons of unto my own teachings of governing over Rensfork.
And
I look at it here is you can keep your horses, we can stable them, come back whenever you'd like, but at the very least, I don't want you to waste your time. The steam fields are they're nothing. They are dangerous for the road, and definitely a slog to say the least. There's been no way to create a formal road. Even it gets lost in the muck all the time.
And yet, as much as the nothing that it is that has been asked of us, if you say you understand who a Weaver's Chosen is, then you must understand why we still must do what has been asked of us.
Of course, I do understand that, and I look at it as the job is done. The mission complete, as they say. You came, you saw. It's all the same nonsense. We can send somebody out there to look at it and come back. It's just it seems an outright waste to have such fine company and send you away to a mucky retreat. You know.
It wouldn't be the first time we've been marched through the muck.
Yeah, of course. But at the very least, I would like to save what is fast becoming my new friends from this horrible trudge, you know? We could have so much fun and relaxing together and truly deepen our friendship, I think, eh? I ask you a bit as a personal favor. I could do these lavish things myself, but the ferry is so large when it is just myself and my attendants, you know? It's rare I find people to connect with that I can really share in this, and I understand it as being a bit selfish. I do understand that, of course, but I just, what they say, when you find an opportunity to enjoy the company of another, you should truly take every moment and savor it, eh?
I agree, and I can only express, as frivolous and pointless as some things may seem, what it means for us to do what we have been asked.
Of course. Well, if
And
you know, if that is the way, no, I understand. I hear you.
when we come back, we could spend a day. We could make a day of it.
Of course. I mean, you know, when or if the Weaver's Chosen return, I'll look forward to it. Not to say I'm disappointed, but I of
Why
course
if?
understand. Well, you are a Weaver's Chosen. You know, you could be fighting. I don't even know. I've heard of them fighting owl-faced bears before, terrifying griffins, mauled by tridents of the Sahawan. Creatures from the deep below drag you to the depths. Faustian bargains with demon lords. Everything. The stories that my mother would tell me are almost akin to the Weavers themselves, just quite endeavored. Not to say that anything will be out in the steam fields at all, but there are a number of local creatures and etymologies that could be troublesome. The area itself is sulphurous. It is a burning hatred of a place. The natural gases alone are dangerous. You one false step and poof, you're gone. You're a skeletal mess, eh?
So we've been warned.
Good warnings to heed then. But again, I will twist your arm no further. I simply leave the offer on the table, my friends. Enjoy this delightful food and your great company this evening, eh?
Well, we can certainly discuss it further, especially when Colt is here, as he is a captain just as much as I am of this group.
Of course. If your friend Colt is, how you say, exhausted and torn out, a day on the river could do his good. I'm just saying. Not to further state it, but it might cheer the eye up.
The cruise,
Yes.
Is there something other than the want to spend time with us and the general known dangers of the steam fields? Is there another reason why you particularly do not want us going that way?
Yeah, well, I apologize. I never said that I don't want you going that way. I know how dangerous can be in the stories that reach out. Merely, I speak to you as a dear, concerned friend, and Baron as my station, that I know the dangers of the southern steam fields, and I do not wish that for you. You all are good people. I can see this in your heart, eh? I don't assume anything else out there, but I more just want to ensure to say no accidents would happen or any dangers befall you on the road. They are treacherous further south. It's part of the reason why the kingdom has never gone that far, eh?
Can I do like an insight check to see if like maybe there's something else?
Sure. Go ahead and roll insight.
20.
20. You look this man up and down, and as you are talking to him, he seems very steadfast in his resolve. But with a 20, you start to notice a number of things about him. His eyes never truly meet your eyes. He seems to look above your forehead instead of directly at you. His hands dot and tick across the table, and you note his left leg is bouncing up and down. From your time as a card player especially, these are all tells that something is not okay.
You know what, Baron? We should, if everyone else wants to go to bed, we should play a few card games.
Ah, well, let's not dismiss my friends here.
Of course not, but
Sit and
I don't
watch
want to. Half of them don't have decks, and
Oh, they don't have
Colt's-
decks.
Colt's asleep, and Orville. Me and Orville are the only awake ones with decks, but we don't. I can always wait until they're ready to go to bed, and we can.
Of course,
we can
yeah.
play some games.
Later, we don't need to rush everyone to sleep or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Heck, I don't think half your party sleeps. And he points at like the elven ears. He's like, most of you are very awake all the time, eh?
That's fair. That's fair.
But yes, let's just enjoy dinner. We can have maybe later tonight in my study. We can meet up and play some Conquest. Be fun.
That sounds like a good plan.
Yes. So, with that, is there anything you guys want to do before ending dinner and thus this episode?
I do not know what to say to try and get him to.
It's fine.
If they leave the dinner table, JJ would probably pull Belle aside before meeting back up with the crews in that section. But if that needs to wait till next week, that's fine too.
That's fine. I want to know if there's anything else other than just pleasant dinner conversation, or if you guys want to take a recess from call dinner and then go speak amongst yourselves beforehand. Yeah. All right. So dinner passes about an hour or so of just talking about how beautiful the land is, mentioning how fine the wine is. Wine is served, fresh water and kind of like purified water at that comes through. The finger foods eventually come out, and there's a number of things that are made out of truffles and nice kind of balsamic vinegars and crackers and toasted breads that are enjoyed. The Baron stands after a while and bids you adieu, says that he will look forward to an evening later tonight, a little bit later on, for anyone who is willing to, as he says, lose in a couple game of cards and put some of your rares on the line, eh? I am excited to fight you in Collective Conquest. Again, my dragon deck undefeated. So, maybe think about bringing your A game, huh?
Certainly, sir.
Now, of course.
I'm game.
I bid you fond farewells, my friends, and might we do this again soon, eh? I'll look forward to hearing from you, of course.
Of course.
He nods and kind of walks off and retreats back to his place. After wrapping up at dinner, you guys are escorted back to the common rooms for the guest house. If there's anything you guys want to discuss before calling it a wrap, we'll do that here.
I don't trust that dude.
So for clarification on Tiny Hut, sound doesn't pass in or out of it as well, correct?
I think that sound is locked inside of Tiny Hut. Let me double check.
Okay.
Tiny Hut. 10-foot radius dome. Here we go. A 10-foot radius immobile dome of force springs into existence around you and above you and remains stationary for the duration. The spell ends if you leave the area. 9 creatures of medium size or smaller can fit inside the dome with you. The spell fails if its area includes a larger creature or more than 9 creatures. Creatures and objects within the dome, when you cast a spell, can move through it freely. All other creatures and the object are barred from passing through it. Spells and other magical effects can't extend through the dome or be cast through it. The atmosphere inside the dome is comfortable and dry, regardless of the weather outside. Until the spell ends, you can command the interior to become dimly lit or dark. The dome is opaque from the outside, any color you choose, but it's transparent from the inside. I mean, if it blocks spell casting, I'm going to say there is like a level of like muffling that's going to be coming through there. Maybe you'd hear some like vibrations of discussion, I guess, but yeah, I don't see why not. I know there's like other spells that deal with sound, but I don't want to make like Tiny Hut like the greatest thing of all time. But yeah, I don't see why it wouldn't like at least muffle sound. If it can block a fireball, then I feel like it can block like
Okay, true.
like
Yeah.
if you're not yelling and screaming, I feel like it's at least you're in another room, you know?
It's like through thick glass kind of.
Yeah, like thick. Yeah, sure. That's a cool way to do it. Yeah, that's fine with me.
Okay. If y'all want, stand close to me real quick. And she will cast Tiny Hut if everyone gets around her once they're back in the common room.
Right.
I do not entirely trust. I trust him, but he's antsy and he is very, very nervous about something.
I can't tell if he's trying to stop us from going somewhere or if he's trying to get himself away from here.
I think he's acting awful suspicious. I think he might be trying to put us off of our actual job here, looking for the counterfeiters, and
I
maybe
mean, that technically wasn't quite our job here in the first place. It's just
Well,
it's
it could still exist. It could be something else. We know that something in the land deals is a little sketchy here too, in the sales and bargainings and whoever he's dealing with.
And that's why I am going to spend a little extra time. If Orville or anyone else would like to join and watch and whatever, feel free. But I was just gonna spend some time, play some cards, see if that could ease him
I
up.
think it's best, as you're good with people, that you try and handle that without it feeling like there's the whole lot of us putting pressure upon him at this time.
I feel that.
I would like to try and form some level of trust to actually be able to help him if that is what he would seek. But I would like to watch, so if you wouldn't mind taking Aja with you,
Oh, certainly.
and I'll just keep an eye on things.
I like that idea.
I'll have Aja go and wrap herself around wherever you please. She's an excellent bracelet.
Wrist. Snake wrist. All right.
And then
So
I will go to my room to
concentrate.
effectively look like I'm meditating, but I'm just sending my senses through Aja constantly.
Okay. Yeah. Anyone else? Anything you guys want to do or say before we meet up for next week?
Bucky will cast Detect Magic and see if there's any kind of listening devices or anything like that.
JJ will dismiss Tiny Hut before he does that.
Okay. I was like, haha, you look and detect the hut, you piece of shit. No, I'm kidding. So you cast Detect Magic, right? Let me see. I want to make sure I give an accurate description. I have not read many of these spells in many moons. For the duration, you sense the presence of magic within 30 feet of you. If you sense magic's away, you can use your action to Feign Aura. Magic can penetrate barriers. Cool, within 30 feet of you. Okay. You cast Detect Magic in, what, JJ's room?
The room that we were meeting in.
It was the
Sure.
common room, I believe.
Yeah, the common room. Okay. Yeah, you cast Detect Magic. Go ahead and make me a perception check.
I rolled a 1.
You rolled a 1?
Yep.
You look around. Some of the sconces and lights in the area do hold faint evocation magic. It seems as if they can like light and unlight themselves. There also seems to be a fairly prevalent aura of transmutation that proliferates the common room itself. You look, and as you focus on these small kind of strands of transmutation, it looks as if the wax for the candles is very well enchanted, as well as the wicks. And the wax themselves seems to make it to where they don't drip onto the carpet. They actually seem to kind of cool and move and then reform the candles so they never truly burn down. You would know this combination of spells to be equivalent to almost an ever-burning torch.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, those are the major auras that assault your senses, especially with 1.
Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So yeah, if that's going to be it then, that's where we'll call it here. And when we next meet, we'll pick up from tonight. The evening with the Baron, the last night of the Baron, and likely JJ playing cards with him or whatever before you guys do whatever you want to do afterwards. So for everyone here, we of course thank you so much for tuning in, all 4 or 5 of you, or however many people are still here. I was gonna raid these 1 people, but they're not live yet, so they're gonna miss out. I kind of want to raid our French guys, but I don't know how that's gonna go. They've been streaming for 2.5 hours.
End.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
ending close. Let's see here.
Oh,
I think
an artist.
we could raid an artist. Who do I have? Quell Fabulous online. All these folks. Yeah, let's do that. I was like, I had it all set up. I'm like, yeah, and then it's like, nah, though we're not live yet. I'm like, oh, dang it. Let's see here. Let's raid an artist. Why not? We're gonna goblin raid an artist, y'all. Nothing with a VTuber. We're gonna skip VTubers this go around, because what happens? What's the haps maps? Let's see here. Here we go. Do they speak English? Let's find out. Yes, they do speak the English, so that's cool. Let's do that. There we go. It's a doodler. We'll go raid a doodler. That's fun. All right. So as always, we thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you guys had a great night. We'll be back this same D&D time, same D&D place. We'll be back this week. If you want to check out any of the gaming streams, earn more points, be able to spend all your stuff, if you're a subscriber to the channel, you have your Velinar thanks to Zonas. You can use that. She typically is our goblin raid emote. That way we can bring down the wrath of others upon their faces. Or just be really nice and then show off your cool emotes that you have for here. As always, guys, love your faces. Absolutely thank you. If you find any of the nonsense that we do fun and entertaining, appreciate you. We'll be back next week for more Dungeons and Dragons. Peace out.